Today we're going to take an old book and a Goodwill find and turn it into what becomes one of my favorite Christmas decorations. Stay tuned. So we're going to start out with a stocking hanger that I found at Goodwill. And it was broken. The hook was actually gone. So what I did was I took my wire cutters and I cut the sleigh off of the base and tossed it. I tried getting that little polar bear off and it was almost impossible, so I just decided to throw it away. Now, I've got an old decorative book that I've painted, put some scrapbook paper on, and then used my Cricut to create the Santa Claus phrase on the front. Now I've taken a piece of styrofoam and I added some foam to it, and I am going to end up gluing this on top and attaching the sleigh to it. First, I'm going to put some indentations into the styrofoam to help hold the sleigh. I'm going to hot glue the styrofoam onto the book, make sure it is where I want it, and then I'm going to kind of press down on the sleigh to create those indentations. Once I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to take my glue gun and I'm going to glue pretty heavily the bottom part of the sleigh runners. Then I'm going to add some floral pins, and those will go down inside the styrofoam, and the glue should hold those in as well. I want to push them down pretty far, so I'm going to grab a tool here, one of my weeding tools from Cricut, and I'm just going to push down on those pins until I get them inside the styrofoam, and that should hold that sleigh in the styrofoam really well. So once I've got that done, I'm going to reattach this moss. Probably should have waited to do this until the sleigh was actually attached, but that's okay. A few floral pins and it's back to good. So now I'm ready to start building a base to cover the styrofoam and the moss. And I'm just using some old garland, and I'm just going to kind of clip off the pieces, gathering enough to cover the styrofoam pretty well. Now once I have enough pieces, I'm going to use my steel pick machine, and I'm going to put picks on these so that they go into the styrofoam much easier. See how that just kind of slides in? So I'm going to go all the way around and randomly place all of these pieces until I've pretty well got it covered. Now I'm going to find a couple of different things here. The first is the red piece that is from the Dollar Tree, and the white snowflake looking stuff is from Hobby Lobby. Now I'm going to cut these pieces apart and then add pick to it, and that makes it much easier to be able to push in. And I'm just going to place these all around. And you can see by the way I'm putting these in, I'm being kind of random with them. Some are pointed more up, some are more pointed down, and I am trying to shape them. They should be at least curved and not straight. Like, see how I just shaped that one and curved it down. It just makes things look a little bit more on the realistic side. You don't want all of your picks just all lined up all around in a circle, and you want to make sure and put some kind of depth to it. And now that I'm done with that, I'm going to do the same thing with the red picks. I'm going to cut them apart because I don't need these to be big. I'm going to put a steel pick on them, and I'm going to then put those in. Now you really can't shape these. They just kind of stay the way they are, but I am going to make sure that they're randomly either up or down at some kind of an angle that will definitely make it look good. And now it's time to put in some miniature ornaments. And now I've got these little beads that are on wire. It was from one of my Timu orders. And I'm gonna hot glue these in. And I'm not pushing them all the way down. I do want them to stick up a little ways. And now I'm gonna put a couple of flowers in. I think these were from Walmart, and I've had these for a very long time, so I'm not even sure if they're available. But it is a little poinsettia, and it does have a couple of leaves on it. So I'm going to add a couple of these to help fill the space, and they are the same colors, so it has a really nice look to it. Now this has to be probably one of my very favorite picks to decorate with, and these are like icicle branches, and sometimes the little pieces do come off, but they've held up very well for the amount of them I have purchased over the years. I've been very surprised how nice they are. So I went ahead and steel picked these, and I'm putting them in to give a little bit of shine and, of course, some more dimension. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to use my new Bodabra. Now, I never had one of these before. I always did my bows by hand, and doing so many of them this year, it just hurts my hands. So I went ahead and invested. This is the mini Bodabra, I think they call it. And I'm just going to make a couple of little itty bitty bows and put those in here. And this is some pretty ribbon that I purchased from Amazon, I believe, a month or so ago. And it is red and green and it's got gold in it. It's just a stripe. But I think this will be a good finishing touch. So I'm going to figure out right here in just a minute that I've done this wrong. So just watch for it. But it is pretty easy to fix. What I've done is actually put my wire into the wrong space. So I'm cutting my ribbon off the roll now. And when I go to pick up the bow to tie it, now I realize it's in the wrong place. Easy fix. Pull the bow up just a little bit, slide out the wire, and then you can slide it in where it's supposed to be. Not the end of the world, just more of a practice makes perfect. Well, there's no perfect, but you know what I mean. So I'm just going to slide that through there. And then once that's through, I'm going to pull up the wire. This is a kind of little, I don't know what to call it. I call it my smasher piece. Pushes all the fabric from the bow back down. So it makes it a little bit easier when you pull the wire or your pipe cleaner up to be able to get the middle section as tight as possible when you twist the wire. So now I'm going to see if I can get a steel pick on my wire. And that will make that a lot easier to be able to push the bow into the styrofoam. And I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of these bows because I want them to be around both sides of the sleigh. I decided it needed a little more something, so I picked up one of my little bunches of pine cones. And I'm going to cut those apart, and I'm just going to steel pick the ends on them. I left a little nub at the bottom of the pine cone so I could put a steel pick on it. And then I'm going to go ahead and use some hot glue because some of these may be in little odd spots that they may not stay in the styrofoam. Now I'm going to take a good look around the entire centerpiece, making sure I don't have any holes that I need to fill. I'm going to tweak anything that needs to be moved or rearranged. Make sure I get all the little glue spider webs off, and then we'll take some pictures of it. I love it. I decided to put a final coat of Mod Podge on just to make sure that vinyl was sealed in well. All right, so here's the final project. I think it turned out absolutely adorable. I'm pretty sure that this is my very favorite decoration that I've made this year. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe for more.